Welcome, welcome. Hi, hi, hi. Great to have you all. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Michael Rubenfeld. I am the co-director of Festival, which is a Jewish arts and activist organization based in Krakow, Poland. Based in Krakow, Poland. I am the co-director with Magda Rubenfeld Korolewska, who is also here. Festival are the producers of the film that you're going to see this evening. The film, which is a series of films. It's one of a series of 3 films called KulturDocs. Kultur is the Yiddish word for culture, if you hadn't been able to figure that out. And we have 3 episodes, and this episode is about the marvelous Betty Q, who is an artist that we at Festival collaborate with often, and we're very close to and very, very excited and happy that she agreed to be featured in our series. The series is sponsored or funded by the Polish Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and I am the director also of the series. So I'm the director of the film that you're going to see this evening. And this evening is this evening is brought to you in partnership with 2 organizations, 3 organizations actually. Along with Festival, it's a collaboration event with both the Cape Town and Durban Holocaust and Genocide Centers, as well as Judisk Chronika, which is a Jewish publication in Sweden, and you're going to hear from those who run both the Judisk Chronika and the Cape Town Holocaust and Genocide Center. And I'm going to pass this to the director of the Cape Town Holocaust and Genocide Center, Jakub Nowakowski, who's going to say a few words and welcome you before we move to the film. Jakub, take it away.
Thank you, Michael. Welcome. Good evening, everybody from Cape Town. It is such a pleasure to work and collaborate with Michael and the festival and our Swedish partners and our partners from Durban on this special program. A few things about Cape Town Holocaust and Genocide Center. The center is actually the oldest and the first one and the oldest Holocaust center in all of Africa, founded and created 25 years ago. This year we are celebrating our 25th anniversary. And from the very beginning, the center's focus was not only on teaching about the Holocaust, but also about going beyond that issue and trying to create a more caring and just society, something that in 1999, post-apartheid Africa was terribly important. And we keep doing that also today. And today we're going to be looking at the post-Holocaust Poland. And this is something that we usually do.
Recording in progress.
When we usually do this, we were looking at how non-Jewish Poles are struggling with deconstructing certain narrations about Polish-Jewish relationship in the past. And we do it rarely through the lenses of the Polish Jews themselves. And this project allows us to do precisely that. And the reason why we at the Cape Town Holocaust and Genocide Center are today throughout other programming are focusing on Poland is not only because of the importance of Poland in terms of the Jewish history, but also because next year we are planning a major trip to Poland for participants from South Africa, but also US. And if you would like to join us in that journey to Poland, where we're going to see how complicated Poland is today, please be in touch. So thank you all for joining us. And I now give the floor to our co-partners in this program. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Kuba. We're going to hear after the film from our other partner, Anneli. Anneli Rådestad, who is the editor-in-chief of Judiska Kronika, and she's also going to moderate a conversation between Betty and myself. So yeah, very special that Betty is here in person, actually coming to you live from the Polin Museum from the History of Polish Jews. And after the film, which will take about 20 minutes, we're going to have a conversation, which will also include a Q&A with all of you. I think just before I say, I'm going to just sort of preface this, I say a little bit at the beginning of the film, but I just want to say that just to give you a bit of context about these films, I am a Canadian artist who moved to Poland about 9 years ago, and I found myself feeling really attracted to Poland's artists. And there's something very unique, and very individual about the Polish Jewish reality that was very, very different from the Jewish reality that I grew up with. The very different, and very unique to Poland and this post-genocidal, post-communist space. And I found that the artists of Poland were working on the intersection of who they are and their Jewishness in ways that were completely unique. And I wanted to make this series in a way to be able to share some of that uniqueness, that singularity with you. And so I'm really excited that you're here to experience that tonight. And we'll talk, of course, a lot more about it later. Two other things. I encourage you during the film to turn off your videos. And the best ways to watch the film are in full screen. So if you haven't already, you may just want to press the green button on the top left-hand corner, which will put you into full screen. And that way you can watch the video in full. And and I also encourage you to minimize the videos might be on the right-hand side or the top side that has everyone else's videos up. If you don't know how, if anyone doesn't know how to do that, there are what looks like 4 options just sort of over where the videos are. One looks like there's like a tic-tac-toe box. One is 2 lines that looks like an equal sign is 1 line, and one is a small little line. If you press that small little line on the left-hand side, it will minimize everything so that you do not have to see anyone else. And you can actually move that right into the corner if you want, so that the entire screen focuses on the video. Just before we start, in the chat, does anyone have any questions about either of the things that I said? And if not, we'll just start the film, which will last about 20 minutes.
T'inganni se pensi che l'anni non hanno a finire, bisogna morire, bisogna morire, bisogna morire.
Growing up in Canada, I had been raised to be fearful of Poland because of what happened to my family and the Jews here during the Holocaust. But when I started visiting, I discovered how much work was being done in Poland on the topic of contemporary Jewish identity. As an artist myself, I've always looked to other artists as reflectors of contemporary society. And so I decided to spend time with some of Poland's Jewish artists to see how they were using art in relationship to their own Jewishness, in the hopes of understanding more about Jews in Poland. Anna Czyżewska, also known as Betty Q, is a trailblazer in the burlesque scene. She played a key role in bringing the art form to the country in 2010 and is often called the Grand Dame of Polish burlesque.
I wasn't raised Jewish. I was raised Catholic, but not in a very Orthodox way, because I remember that, like, at school there was a religion at school, and of course Catholic, because there was nothing else in Poland. And I remember my father wanted us to go to church, and we went to church sometimes, but growing up, I didn't want to do that.
È un sogno la vita che pare si gradita e breve il gioire, bisogna morire, bisogna morire, bisogna morire.
Ja się urodziłam w latach 80. i w 86 byłam też urodzona, ochrzczona. I to był czas, kiedy jeżeli się nie ochrzciło dzieci, to się było albo komunistą, albo Żydem. I jak przyjechała moja babcia Żydówka, prababcia, babcia Teresa, przyjechała na moją komunię, bo to było wielkie w ogóle zbiegowisko rodzinne, było mnóstwo ludzi, to ona powiedziała mamie coś takiego, że ja się cieszę, że wy posyłacie do komunii Anię. Ona chciała, żebyśmy były bezpieczne.
I sani, gli fermi, bravi, gli inermi, tutta da finire, bisogna morire.
Rzeczywiście ten temat był gdzieś pod dywanem. Dostałam takie zadanie domowe, żeby napisać wypracowanie o pamiątce rodzinnej. I ja w ogóle zapytałam oczywiście mamę, mamo, jakie mamy pamiątki rodzinne, mamy jakieś? I moja mama wyciągnęła taką pięknie pachnącą chustkę kolorową i powiedziała, że to jest chustka babci Teresy i że ona była w obozie. I ja wtedy dowiedziałam się o Holokauście, wtedy dowiedziałam się o tym, że my jesteśmy Żydówkami. I moja mama w zasadzie napisała to wypracowanie za mnie. Pamiętam, że dostałam najwyższą możliwą ocenę, 6, i moja nauczycielka się popłakała. I was in this amateur theater for many years, since I was a kid till I turned, I don't know, 21, 22, 23, I'm not sure. So we were doing this theater thing. I was performing as a belly dancer, as a tribal band dancer. I was researching some dance in YouTube, and I found burlesque, and I saw it, and I felt like, oh my god, this is me. I realized that there's nothing in Poland. I collected a couple of girls to do some projects together to start the burlesque in the country. There's this act. I have my Jewish family names written in Yiddish on my arms here, the places that people have tattoos from the camps, and I'm playing on this cemetery instrument, which are the stones. Those stones I'm using also to scratch my skin, so the names, you're not able to read them anymore. And this is also my family story, because my family didn't kept being Jewish, so they stopped doing some stuff, stopped using their Jewish names.
Come ti inganni se pensi che gli anni non hanno a finire, bisogna morire, bisogna morire, bisogna morire.
My grandfather, he had many Jewish books, many Jewish texts, many Jewish authors, and he was raised Catholic because of the situation in Poland, because of the pogroms, because of the Holocaust, the war. He was a kid during the war, and he knew that his mother was Jewish. He knew that, but he never knew her real name.
Oh, come ti inganni se pensi che gli anni non danno a finire. Bisogna morire, bisogna morire, bisogna morire. Bisogna morire, bisogna morire. Bisogna morire, bisogna morire.
Moja mama nie miała w ogóle pojęcia, że jakiekolwiek organizacje żydowskie są w Polsce. Jak poszła do agencji żydowskiej, to się dowiedziała, że w ogóle jest jakieś żydowskie życie w Polsce. Zapytała, czy ja bym z nią nie poszła na taki piknik.
That was actually the first time I entered the living community of Polish Jews. I felt wanted. I felt that those people want me to stay. I started coming for Shabbats with the Jewish organization. Nigdy nie było to dla mnie o religii, ale właśnie o tym byciu razem i jakimś celebrowaniu tego, że wciąż jesteśmy na ziemi. Moja mama tego bardzo potrzebowała i chyba potrzebowała, żebym ja to kontynuowała. Wiedziałam, z czym to się wiąże, bo mój tata był taki trochę przeciwko w ogóle naszemu zaangażowaniu mojemu z mamą. My tu przyszłyśmy we dwie, nie?
Moja rodzina od strony taty zareagowała bardzo, bardzo, bardzo źle. Pokazali swój taki antysemityzm mocny i to było bardzo trudne.
Mój ojciec musiał wystąpić i powiedzieć: ej rodzice, jeżeli chcecie mieć syna, to musicie zaakceptować moją rodzinę. I ja byłam w takim szoku, że on to zrobił. Ja nigdy nie widziałam mojego ojca stojącego za mną. Nigdy wcześniej, nigdy później.
This alter ego is also to make me safe from the whole world. But when I'm on stage, the audience is watching me. There's nothing else in the world happening. It's a kind of escape. It's a kind of escapism, yeah.
Ale 15 lat temu w Warszawie, niedaleko, na Mariensztacie, tam się działa taka sytuacja, że pierwszy raz pokazałyśmy burleskę polskiej publiczności. I trochę byliśmy w szoku, przyszło jakieś tam parę osób, między tyle co dzisiaj i oni się tak cieszyli i oni robili taki hałas.
I'm almost 40 years old and doing burlesque on stage. People can see me as someone that is so proud and happy with their body, with my body. And they can transfer it to themselves, saying like, okay, she was so hot, she was wonderful. Maybe I can be this.
Od początku wiedziałam, że Betty ma w sobie coś takiego, co nie wiem, czy ona się ucieszy, ale to jest jakiś aktywizm burleskowy. To znaczy, że ta burleska jest totalnie polityczna. Ona oczywiście ma sprawić, że miło spędzisz czas i po prostu pobawisz się, że ktoś ci pokazuje super cycki przed tobą, ale jednocześnie te cycki mówią ci, twoje też są super i ty możesz być na moim miejscu, a to jest totalnie punkowe. Myślę, że to dlatego w Polsce tak późno odkryto radość ze swojego ciała i tego, że to może być polityczne i feministyczne, ponieważ nakłada się tutaj kultura katolicka, to znaczy w dużej mierze Kościół i ten taki sposób myślenia o ciele czy seksualności jako grzechu jest tutaj chyba najważniejszy.
Wioletta Grzegorzewska, she was asked by the Instytut Książki to write a kind of a guidebook to Poland for the Biennale. There was a kind of a guidebook, like A, B, C, D, E, like alphabet of Poland. Of Poland, scents, smells, feelings. And actually there was this, they didn't want Donald Tusk there, they didn't want Ania Rubik there, and they didn't want me there. and they wanted Jan Paweł II, more of John Paul II. I was very honored to be crossed out from this book.
Po 1989 roku Polska odzyskuje, nazwijmy to, niepodległość, przechodzi na system neoliberalny i kapitalistyczny. W 1993 roku wchodzi bardzo restrykcyjne prawo antyaborcyjne w Polsce. Temat praw reprodukcyjnych to jeden z głównych tematów, którym zajmują się feministki, ale on jest bardzo blisko ciała. To ciało zawsze jest nacenzurowanym i nigdy do końca nie wiadomo, czy jak się rozbierzesz, to będzie to emancypacyjne, czy jednak opresywne. Czy twoje ciało jest po to, żeby się cieszyć z niego, czy twoje ciało jest właśnie polem walki, na które najeżdża Kościół katolicki, politycy, prawo.
After the war, my grandma used to be with this photographer, and many times she was posing for him, and we have beautiful pictures, naked with fur, like, you know, like something special. It's pretty funny because my other grandma, my mom's mom, she was this kind of dama too. She was always with makeup, always very pretty, and it was very important in my family to look decent.
Betty sprawiła, że nagle striptease przestał być stripteasem i zaczęło w nim chodzić o coś zupełnie innego niż dotychczas.
I wanted to be pretty. I wanted to be special. I wanted to be free. I think my mom, she loves it. She's really proud of it. She's happy about this. Because I'm kind of fulfilling her dream of being this kind of actress. Ale ja jestem w tej podłej sztuce, która jednak wciąż jest fascynująca. I moja mama bardzo mi ufa.
Tutaj się wydarzyła taka socjalizacja wtórna, bo ja w którymś momencie uczyłam moją mamę o tym, jak wygląda to żydowskie życie. Bo ja chciałam jej pokazać, że ja jestem z nią, że ja jestem jej i że zawsze będę. Averek et haor kot latov שבעולם נקדיש את הזמן לחדשים וצבא נדליק נרות של שבת. Amen.
Niech będzie błogosławione światło, symbol dobra na świecie.
Moja babcia miała koszerną kuchnię, tak przygotowane, że były 2 zlewy. To dziwne było, ja tego nie rozumiem. Wtedy jeszcze nie potrafiłam tego jakoś wyłapać i zapytać o to, ale teraz to no nie mam już możliwości, bo ona już nie żyje dawno. I już po jej śmierci jakoś poczułam, że powinnam dowiedzieć się czegoś więcej. No ona już mi nie mogła powiedzieć. Wyszłam za mąż za takiego chłopaka z katolickiej rodziny bardzo i im zależało bardzo, żeby był kościelny ślub. I dzisiaj bardzo tego żałuję, że to wtedy nie zbuntowałam się, żeby nie zrobić po swojemu. Czułam, że to jest takie nie moje w ogóle, że to nie jest moja jakaś społeczność, w którą ja weszłam.
Też mam taką historię trochę podobną do Asi, bo Ania to wiedziała od dziecka praktycznie dzięki Asi, że mają korzenie, że są Żydówkami. A ja też dowiedziałem się, jak miałem, nie wiem, 16 lat. I to był normalny wieczór, taki, nie wiem, wieczorem siadamy do herbaty w kuchni i mama mówi, wiecie co, muszę mu coś poważnego powiedzieć, że no, wasz dziadek jest Żydem. I to jest o tyle dziwne, że ona też dowiedziała się, że jej ojciec jest Żydem od swojej matki, wcale nie od niego. On nigdy tego nie powiedział nikomu w rodzinie.
Było ważne dla ciebie, że twój mąż jest Żydem?
Dla mnie jest bardzo ważne. Tak,
wow.
ja się tak cieszyłam. Pamiętasz, co ci mówiłam?
Na ślubie?
Tak, jak toast wznosiliśmy. Mówiłam, że się cieszę, że, bo już myślałam, że będzie jakiś zięć.
Polak.
Tak, katolik.
Czystej krwi.
Tak. A mam takiego Roberta, który chodzi zawsze w sobotę, od piątku wieczorem w całą sobotę w kipie.
Tak. No, taka moja rzecz, którą robię, tak? Przez cały szabat w kipie.
Widzisz, to w każdej rodzinie jest takie zacieranie w pewnym pokoleniu. Twój dziadek i moja babcia zacierali
Zacierali
te
ślady. A nie dało się
a
zatrzeć.
my żeśmy je odkopali.
No. Tak, no my je znaleźliśmy.
Tak.
Oh, come ti inganni se pensi che gli anni non hanno a finire. Bisogna morire, bisogna morire, bisogna morire. Bisogna morire, bisogna morire. Bisogna morire, bisogna morire.
The Q&A. I hope you enjoyed the movie. My name is Anneli Rådestad, and I'm the editor-in-chief of Judisk Krönika, which is a cultural magazine with a Jewish perspective in Sweden, founded in 1932, just around the time that nationalism and anti-Semitism was on the rise in Europe. I'm super honored to moderate this conversation with you today with actor, artist, and filmmaker Michael Rubenstein, and the Grand Dame of Burlesque, Betty Q in Poland. So welcome to the panelists. I can't see you right now. Is it possible? Oh, here you are. Okay, great. Wonderful. Hi, Betty. Hi, Michael. Good to see you guys. Hi to everyone who's watching again. Nice. Let's start with you, Michael. You mentioned in your introduction before that you were very attracted to Poland to begin with, and also specifically to the contemporary artists in Poland. Could you tell us a bit about this attraction of yours? Where does it come from?
Yeah, thanks for that question. just before I answer, I just wanted to give a shout out to Daniel Lahai, who was the cinematographer of this film, and Dorota Roche, who was the editor, very close partners for me. So, like I said in the film, I tend to understand cultures through the artists of that country. And I really found that it was the artists in Poland who were able to help me understand something that was rather confusing for me when I first came, because I understood Jewishness through a really particularly North American prism. I grew up and I went to a very specific Zionist school. I came from a family of Polish Holocaust survivors, but the line of Jewishness never ended. It never stopped. Whereas what I really understood was that, in a way, Jewishness, the line of Jewishness, really ended in Poland. In a way that it really didn't in the world that I grew up in. And so Jewishness in Poland had this feeling of a kind of grassroots organization. I mean, the country in itself, in a way, has a feeling of a grassroots organization. This kind of version of post-communist Poland only began in the 90s, and it was only then that I understood that Jewishness got to be public in a way. Again, people started to feel safe about it being public, and so people like Betty and a lot of Poland's Jews weren't necessarily born as Jews. They were discovering that they were Jewish. And like in Betty's case and in several of the other artists that I featured in the films, there was this kind of question about what that means. Who are we? Who are we? What is a Jew? What is a Polish Jew? What does that mean? And it's so specific to this country, and it was just very attractive to me, because I also felt, in a way, like it was helping me understand what Jewishness meant for me, in a way, because the kinds of
It's interesting, right? Because it's I mean, it's the end of the Cold War. The wall is falling, and here you have Jews who are opting in. In most of the West, you're talking about Jews who are assimilating, or they go to a Jewish school, and so that's their whole context. And here you have people like Betty and her mother who are choosing actively to seek out their Jewish roots and Judaism. Could you tell me a bit about that, Betty? What do you think that drive was in the early 90s, both for your mother and for yourself? I was very happy in the movie to see that you felt welcomed when you first approached the Jewish community. What was that urge to find out something that has been strongly connected with death and murder?
Could you maybe just sort of zoom in on Betty? Would that be okay?
People see me zooming in. Yes, the camera is kind of automatic to when she sees me talking. That's happening. Hi, everybody. Thank you for watching the movie with us, and thank you for your question, Anneli. Living in Poland in the early 2000s, and that was the time when me and my mom joined the community. Was mostly. I was looking for myself, and I think my mom, when I was finally independent, when I was finally adult, she decided that she may look for herself too. And this looking usually, and for many people, is connected with kind of a genealogy quest with finding what we could about your family, about your ancestors, about how your family and where your family was living. And for me personally, it means like having any roots. that communistic Poland was erasing all the roots. It was making everybody equal. It was making everybody same, like nobody could stood up. Everybody had to have a certain equal flat or equal whatever. And for us in the early 2000s, when I was starting to be an adult, that was a time to stood out a bit, to be unique, different, to be this person that I always wanted to be. And for me, that meant also looking into our Jewish roots. And that wasn't my idea. That was my mom's. I was 19. So for me, it wasn't the thing of really, it wasn't me the first initiating the meeting, but my mom. And my mom asked me with a full respect and full trust that I can say no, I can say yes, and that's all okay. She asked me if I am willing, happy to start exploring. And I remember her asking me if we would go to this event of Jewish communities outside the picnic where we were with Michael, outside the synagogue and the JCC. So for me, it was a choice as well, but like very early choice. And I think I was strongly influenced by my mom in that. But that was me being most active and mostly like doing the most now. So my mom is pretty in the background now, but she's very happy to be and watch, and she's trusting me in whatever trail I'm going. But actually, my mom kind of chose for me because she wanted to be finally different. I think that's the answer.
In the back mirror, Betty, looking back, what do you think the significance of roots are?
I think there is no tree without roots, right? So we cannot stand stable on our both legs without the roots. And for our family, it was like not knowing much. My grandfather didn't know his mother name. And that was me and my mom digging into archives of Lublin to find out that her name was Johevet. And it was the first time the post-war Poland family could know the name. So it was like taken back from the, and it was like building a structure for us, building a structure that could get us in the Jewish community with understanding, like from where we're going, and also helping us stand and feel more, because the more that if you get a new identity, if you decide on it, and it's a fucking difficult identity, right? So it's not something that you choose every day. I don't think there are many people that want to be Jewish in Poland. Like, I don't think so. So in this matter, I guess the looking for the roots, the writing the roots of ours in these little books and drawing these family trees is bringing some comfort, because not knowing is scary. And if we get to know the scary history of our ancestor, of my grandmother and grandfather, that means that we are open for kind of a trip into ourselves and adjusting to what's happening also outside. and understanding the outside more, because I think the more identities, the more troublesome identities you have, the more you understand the world. With this empathy and with this sensitivity of me being a female sex worker, feminist, queer, and Jewish person, I think I'm not collecting those. I'm also neuroatypical, and that is also a struggle. So in this case, I think all these identities are helping me to understand people more.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll get into your journey and your work with burlesque soon. But first, Michael, what was it about Betty Q's story? And I should say too that this is one of 3 films that you made, intergenerational films of how people have, artists in Poland have related to their Jewish identities. But what was it with Betty Q that resonated when making these movies?
Well, I wanted to work with Betty because she's got a lot of power as an artist.
Wait.
Well, I mean, as a performer, she's an expert, like, what she's able to do on stage has this kind of air of almost of ease, the ease of an expert. That's just, how do I explain that? As an artist, I can just feel when someone's been doing something their whole life and they've been able to do it. She does what she does. She does say a 5-minute turn, as a performer. And in those 5 minutes, what she's able to do is so specific and so powerful and so precise, and so complex, so deceivingly complex, that she's just, an incredible artist. And that was very clear. And also the way that she, uses her body, the way that her body has become a kind of, several things all at the same time, both something to be enjoyed and appreciated, but at the same time, understanding the context of what Poland is. It's also a political animal at the same time, and she's a political animal. And also just watching people's reactions and responses to who she is. And so this always really interested me about Betty. And we were always very excited to collaborate with Betty. The first time that we at festivals invited her to collaborate, she said, well, but I don't really make very Jewish stuff. And I said, well, that, but that didn't matter, to me. She was a Jew making art. And I just never feel like you can separate the personal from the art. And so in a way with Betty, what I was really interested in, and I think the journey that she and I went on together while we were working together on the film, was I was curious to really understand what the intersection of her Jewishness is with her practice. There's some of it is very obvious, like the piece that she shared at the beginning with the tattoos. That's very obviously Jewish. But I would say that the majority of her practice is not, like, she doesn't make Jewish pieces. Sometimes she's, they're fun, they're frivolous, they're all over they're very diverse, but they're rarely overtly Jewish. And of course, we chose to use something overtly Jewish. But at the same time, what I learned about Betty very excited me a lot, and I hope was shared in the film. And this was sort of what I was curious about, and I think I learned about Betty, which was that in a way, this political animal that is intersecting with something that's also about empowerment and also enjoyment, like literally like fun and humor and comedy, is so much connected to her histories, particular her matrilineal histories, her mother, her her grandmother, her great grandmother, and I could really feel, and we talked about this, that in a way she's embodying, herself. She's embodying her pasts, her presents, and her futures all at the same time. So there's, in a way, this kind of like burden that she's taken on of these histories. And to me, it's very, very Jewish. So I find her practice incredibly Jewish.
Thank you so much, Michael. Betty, yeah, I mean, for me watching the movie, definitely the question of how easy is it to be in a body in Poland altogether, and how easy is it to be in a Jewish body in Poland altogether, looking at the past, the present, and the future, and doing it with such life force and enjoyment.
That's a tough question. I think it's also kind of like it's connected to the alter ego that was mentioned in the movie, that actually the idea of this secure alter ego that was in the movie came from Michael. I really appreciate the discussions we had during the production, and you got me thinking about many things I haven't thought. And I need to thank you, Michael, for all the questions that got me to the places that I finally understood myself better, and why I'm doing things, and like that was something to really think. And you asking about how do you get this animation to bring life to the stage, to bring life to the objects and your body. I would say it's a mask. It's a part of this alter ego I'm having, because life is shit. Life is so fucking hard for everybody now. That the world, the environment we living is bringing us to this ununderstandable situation of like being with sensory, like, oh my God, overloaded with the environment and everything. And people like me are definitely mostly sad about the world and about themselves. And like when you want to sleep, you lie down in bed and you pretend to sleep, right? And when you pretend to sleep, you asleep. And this is kind of my artistic journey. When I'm coming on stage, even now, with the group and with this beautiful situation with the premiere, I feel I'm bringing this Betty Q alter ego that gets me through the everyday and through the hard phase of the world. And I'm trying to treat myself. I'm trying to treat myself smiling, because when you smile long enough, you will smile for real, and your endorphins will work for real. I'm so interested in neurosciences, and I'm an educator by my education. And this is getting me to really, I'm good at tricking. I'm good at tricking other people that I'm happy. I'm good at tricking other people that I will be this cheerful peanut girl performing for you and bringing joy to your lives. Yes, I will be, but this is not real me. This is my mask. This is my alter ego that is kind of helping me to thrive. And actually, when I'm working too much, I'm falling into depression, because I'm using those powers too much. I'm using this pretending too much. And if I work not enough, I'm also getting into depression. because I don't pretend enough. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, pretension or imagination, I suppose. It's imagining what the world could be like, right? It's not necessarily pretense.
And this also has a cost, and like being this persona in your life costs a lot. But like I know that I can get to my tiny apartment in Muranów, just next to the museum and next to the Jewish cemetery in Warsaw, in the center of the ghetto, but also in the concentration camp. Yes, I live in the concentration camp. And this situation is also like getting on me, but like this is where we're living. And I want to teach people to enjoy themselves, to enjoy their body, to find their body language. And this is what I'm doing at Pauline as well, just now.
Just clarify. Can you clarify what you mean about you live in a concentration camp?
I was about to do it, if it's okay. Correct me if I'm wrong. But so Murano is this neighborhood in Warsaw, which used to be a concentration camp. And right after the war, there was a need of new houses, of new buildings. So basically, there was no time to clear out the space, and intersected with the cement and the building construction was the bones and the ashes and everything, the dirt from the concentration camp. So literally, people in Murano are living in the houses that contain the bones and the ashes of the people who lived in this concentration camp. And I've heard that some people hear ghosts in these houses too. Was that correct, what I just said now?
Actually, not entirely. About the Muranów neighborhood, yes. I'm sorry for this camera doing this weird stuff, but like, yeah, we're dancing. And yes, Muranów, this part of Muranów was totally destroyed. The surrounding of the camp was destroyed because the ghetto was there, and Germans put it to like the empty soil, but the camp area wasn't very nobody lived there for long time. It was even in the 19th century the military area. And that's important to say that all the human remains, thank you, were taken to the Jewish cemetery and collected very, very wisely and very, very well before anything happened there. And actually, this area of the camp wasn't that much that early housed. So only in the 62, my building was built there. So it took some time. The other areas were like this, but they needed to put their schools so people forget what was it.
And for people to live after a war, it makes a lot of sense. I'm sorry if I exaggerated this story that I had heard before, and thank you for correcting me. Anyways, let's speak a bit about your body positivity, Betty, because I think it's really important. And before we let questions from the audience in, your body positivity in terms of a TED Talk I heard with you, and why this brings, why this is so political, what you're doing, that it's, you call yourself a sex worker. I find that what you're doing is so much more. Please tell us. Do you want more cues?
Yes, I need you to rephrase the question.
Yeah.
Maybe it's,
right.
Yes.
So basically, what really fascinated me with what you're doing partly is the body diversity and the importance of body and feeling good in your body, and maybe especially in a country that has been heavily dominated by religion and the Catholic Church. And of course, I'm also curious about how this resonates with the Jewish community. But let's start with the Catholic community.
Yes, right. So you most probably know like how the body is treated in the Catholic communities, and actually like Holland is getting that, and we drink it with the milk. That's like, you know, like they put Jesus on the cross, tortured. That mean like this is okay to torture our body in a way. And I don't really believe that this is a way we can make ourselves happy. I don't think this is a way that we can find ourselves and our bodies feeling good about the body things. I mean, like there is this thing, like one performer, burlesque performer, told me once that she only eats good foods. And I was like, okay, so do you want me to bring you to a organic restaurant, or what do you mean? Because we don't have that in Poland. And she said, I only eat good things, and these are the things that make me happy. Because if I'm happy, I will be, the world will be happier. Because like my relations will be better, I will be nicer to people, the world will answer with more, you know, like calm and understanding. And this is the philosophy. Like we need to take care of our bodies. I told all the participants of this workshop before the movie and before the workshops yesterday that, you know, like your body is more important than this workshop. If you need to stretch, if you need to stand up, if you need to lie down on the floor, if you need to eat, drink, go for a break, go to breathe some air or eat something, this is the thing. I'm not that important in this equation. And I really believe that our bodies needs more attention. In the TEDx the TED Talk you mentioned, Anneli, there was this my understanding of the body positivity as taking the positive as a term of being there. So it's not like so when you're testing COVID, then if it's positive that the result of the test is positive, then it's like okay, the virus is there in my body. So when you're feeling about the body positivity in this term, in this way, I would call it the body presence. So you know about your body. You take it, like if you have a plan for the day, there's also like a break for making the body okay. We forget about this. How many times you wanted to pee and you were sitting with your computer and ending your job there, right? So this is one way of thinking, but I also work for all the body diversity that I really want to see in art, in media, because we need to be represented. And you know, like I become more active in the Jewish community, because when I entered that, I felt like these are, okay, either the very religious people, and this is what everybody is thinking about when they say Jewish. People think, okay, all this Hasidim and all this, like, you know, like, that's not me. And I thought that I need to show other Jewish people. During my work at Sochnut, I was working with the Masa and Taglit there. These were programs for young adults, and most of them were they were new in the community. So they came to the community just now, and I am the person to show them what is it about. So of course, there are religious people, and if it's your way, try it, check it. I'm not religious. I keep traditions because I want this. I want to understand it. I'm not religious, but I'm doing a humanistic candle lighting that you saw. It wasn't the traditional one. And you know, like this way, I try to show people also in the community that you can be this crazy girl. You can have tattoos. Okay, this is against some rules, but like tell me about the rules, and I will tell you why I break them because I know them. So this way, I really think that I was kind of a model that I created for many people back then, like 15 years ago in the Warsaw Jewish community, showing that you can belly dance, that you can strip now. And you know, like some people will think like, okay, like why is she praising around that she's Jewish? You know why I'm doing this? Because most of the people in Poland don't know a Jewish person. And I want to be this Jewish person for them, this person that do weird stuff, and you know, like, thank you, Michael, for having me in the movie, because this is also like the inclusivity that I'm finding very moving. That the Jewish community is there for me, and and that means for me that like I can be myself. And being Jewish, I can be myself in my body. I can teach it to people when, you know, different things. Thank you for this question. It was like, oh.
Thank you, very cute. I will save my last questions till the very, very end, because now it's time to hear from the audience. And I wonder how to do this. Should I just read the questions that are in the chat? Is that a good way?
That's up to you. We can also spotlight the questionnaires.
Yeah, okay, good. So please Spotify the questionnaires. Let's do that.
Spotify them.
I'm Spotifying Rebecca.
I'm now on Spotify.
Yeah.
That is so cool. Hi, Betty Q. I haven't seen you perform for so long, and it was beautiful. Michael, thank you for this amazing movie. My questions, I have two. They're connected. The first is, if there was no burlesque when you began, how did you learn it? If you were the one to bring it to Poland. And the question about Jewish burlesque was, if you were familiar, I saw some Jewish burlesque artists perform in the US. I think around 2007, 2010. One of them was Nice Jewish Girls Gone Bad. I'm wondering if you've been in contact with any other Jewish burlesque artists in the USA or anywhere else.
All right, so about this, how I've learned burlesque, it was mainly through, you know, like 2009, 2010. That was the time that I started researching and started doing that. And there was a lot of on the internet, but not as much as now. So there was no Instagram. There was just YouTube, and I was researching the YouTube from the very beginning till the end. I think I did till the end of YouTube, like with burlesque that time. So of course, already there I discovered performers like Mini Tonka, like Schwepp Sisters, Derlinda, and we were to work together around the project called Juice. This is the show that is in Berlin, and this is a minorities cabaret. And they were invited there, and we were to meet, but COVID happened. And this is what really happened. Now I'm in contact with some Jewish cabarets from the UK, and we are trying to get me there. We'll see how it's going, but I'm very willing to go and spend some time there and learn from those people, because I think this is something special to celebrate yourself, Jewish through burlesque. And thank you for your questions. And thank you for watching.
Okay, there are more questions? Any more questions? Yeah, in the classroom in Pauline. Are there any questions there?
They're saving that for later, for an intimate class. I don't know.
No, we're intimate here
Questions are in
globally.
the chat. The questions are in the chat, aren't they? No?
It would be nice to see the person who's asking the question.
There is a question. There was a question from Kasia.
Please.
Okay, so today I discovered burlesque because so far I thought burlesque is associated with the beginning of the cinema. So with I don't know, just Charlie Chaplin and Harold Lloyd, or no idea what they were called in English, but in Polish, or Oliver Hardy. Now I learned that some less. But I asked Michael about the soundtrack.
We hear that.
Magda, can you mute yourself, Magda?
Welcome, everybody. Lev Rubenfeld, that was. So the question to Michael.
Yeah, the question to Michael is, I'm interested in the soundtrack of the movie, because I heard that leitmotif, which is probably taken from medieval ages, Bisogna morire, which is you'll have to die, and then it's a bit of paradox for me, because you illustrated Betty's performance, probably because I don't think it's a part of like the soundtrack or the melody is used during your performance. So it's just the soundtrack of the movie.
No, it's a part of the performance. So
it's the part of the performance.
Is generally the original part performing to the song.
Okay, because
Michael.
I heard it like, oh my goodness, a long time ago. And so the paradox is that, seeing Betty and Betty's body in full blossom, and then such a beauty and openness, and then that leitmotif from the medieval ages, and when you compare those two, so for me it's a little bit shocking, and also it provokes how to say, it's sad, and then burlesque should be about fun, joy, and anyway, I thought it was your idea, so then I know it's just a part of the show.
Michael?
Well, I mean, it was, certainly, the two pieces that I saw that we use, or certainly that piece and Betty, the piece that Betty is doing in By the Water, and then also the piece that she's doing in the club. There are three pieces. It was me who asked Betty to bring those pieces that we could use them in the film. And for me, I felt like they showed, it was about sort of showing the diversity in her approach to burlesque. Sometimes it's very just like sexy and fun. And at other times it's very vulnerable, and at other times it's very, I don't feel like I would even want to necessarily say exactly what I felt about the other two pieces, but certainly what I like so much about that piece and the reason that I wanted to share it, other than the fact that it's about her family, or it's connected to Jewishness rather overtly, is that it's complex and it's not one thing. And I'll let Betty speak to the reasons that she chose certain music, because yeah, that was certainly just me using the music that Betty uses, because I wanted those sounds also in the film. So Betty, I'll let you speak. I would let Betty speak to why she made the decision to choose certain pieces for her act.
I had goosebumps, really, because it was one of my favorite pieces just from the very beginning, and then for such a long time I could not find it, and now just like today, and it was performed. I had the pleasure of just listening to that piece, but it probably the beginning of the new millennium, and Polish ensemble La Tempesta, which just disappeared from the music stage. But anyway, so it was a perfect choice by Betty, and then also a perfect choice for the movie, because very moving. It was very touching listening to that piece, and then watching Betty. Yeah.
Betty, you want to answer to why the symbolism, the Jewish symbolism in your burlesque?
That's a question that I think I started bringing any Jewish ideas, any Jewish motifs, symbolics early in my burlesque, and I was having this like goofy acts, and this goofy act on Hanukkah. I had Hanukkah gelt hidden in different places in my corset and in my panties, and I was bringing them to people, and I was a little dreidel. I had this dress that I was like spinning like a dreidel, and it was a lot of fun, and like a happy act that I was saying Nes Gadol. So this is like a big miracle. And like how it's going, Hayasham, which is like on my butt, like I need to stand up maybe. Haya, so it was Sham there. So like a great miracle happened here, and I was, and I got a lot of criticism from the Jewish community that how I am putting shin on my butt cheek and things like that. I am saying that it wasn't shin, it was sham. That it wasn't the letter, the sacred letter or describing God, but the sham, which means there in Hebrew. So that's the one thing. The other thing, there were gossips that I don't know how, but I was putting the candles down with my boobs, probably like this. So that was the thing when I first did it. The second time I deliberately put some burlesque, some Jewish spices into my burlesque. That was the act called Morte, which Kasia said about the music, Bisogna morire, which means we all have to die. Sleeping, eating, playing music, talking to people, we all have to die. So the things that we're doing, they don't really matter that much. I really love this tune, and I chosen this so to also show how the memory of my ancestors is lost and dead, as they are dead, as the names are dead, and I'm trying to put the names together from the scratches and pieces, and that act was very important for me. I think it has this therapeutic way of because Like for some people abroad, the idea of being Jewish and not being grown Jewish, born in a family that was like half Jewish, half Catholic, but actually Catholic because we didn't say anything. Our grandparents didn't tell us things, so we had the status quo, and having this, the generation of my people, my age people in the Jewish community is pretty crazy because we know, sometimes we know better the I don't know, Oitenash, the Paternoster, the most important prayer in Catholicism. We know it by heart probably, but we don't know the Shema Israel, and we have to learn it. And we feel ashamed that we are trying to check in the books during any holiday, where are we in the text? Because we can't read Hebrew easily, and if we're trying and we're learning, that happens, of course. And we going into this situation of being more stable in the community, feeling more Jewish. But my generation is questioning and sometimes hiding the pictures from the Holy Communion that are standing shelves in our houses when our Jewish friends are coming. I've heard the stories. I've heard the stories from my close friends, and they were saying, you know, I was trying to be Jewish enough because I knew that, like, I knew we're Jewish. What does it mean? And this is not like we are doing we are invading the Jewish people now with our with how little we know, but we are trying to be included. And also with this act, I tried to show many people questioning their identity, their Jewish identity, that here I am with them, also having the stigma of knowing whole stories about Jesus, you know, and the stigma goes also here and also here, you know, and the stigmas, the real stigmas of the pain, I put in rhinestones there, all right? And you know, I can, and we all coming from the Eve in the end. And the sign that all the priests and Jesus's the pictures are doing, this sign of the peace, is actually coming from all different cultures, including India, as the mudra of the peace. And this way, you know, like we're coming from the Eve. That's why I'm stripping and being naked and biting the apple, because like we all coming from the fucking Eve.
The same mother. Thank you so much, Betty. I know we have a question from Hilda here I want to get to before we put an end to this fascinating evening and conversation.
Yeah, thank you very much. You've got a very interesting outlook, Betty. But one thing I want to ask you, you said in the beginning that you wanted to show some kind of acknowledgement to your mother, who loved dressing up and loved putting on makeup. Would she, I don't know if she's still around, if she's still alive, but would she be happy? Would she think that that stripping or being a sex worker, which you claim to be, would be what would make her feel happy?
My mom actually is in the movie, and she is happily still with me. That's the blonde beauty sitting with us at the Shabbat table, and she is proud of me. And she told me once that, you know, at the beginning of what you were doing, I didn't really understand it that much, but then I started to learn. You got me learning about the world and about that I should trust you because the way you see the world and the way you see people and the way you talk to people is the way I really appreciate. And this is that I want to be my daughter, no matter what is her doing, no matter what is her job. If her job is making her happy, please do it, sweet daughter of mine. That's what she meaning. And she told me, like, I didn't understand it in the beginning, but now I get it. And she came to see a movie by me. It also was once at the festival as a theater show. My movie that I registered myself and the movie to the post-porn film festival. And 10 years ago, I wouldn't say my mom would come to such an event. But then she was there with all of my friends, and she said, actually, there was a question to her because people knew that she is there in the audience. Like, how are you happy with this? And she's saying, I'm trusting my daughter entirely. And this got goosebumps. And it's an unbelievable, beautiful person that helped me through very bad times. And you know, like, she's seeing me, she is trusting me, and she's there when I need her. And I hope it's forever. My grandma, unfortunately, is not there. But she was a rebel. She was a communist. She was a person to sunbathe topless in the city, in the center of Warsaw, because she wanted to have the sunlight on her like evenly. So, you know, like she was lying down and she wasn't showing anything, you know. And my grandmother wasn't very shy with her body. But you know, I don't know what would she say, but I think she would be happy with that I am doing what I want.
Thank you so much, Betty Q, and thank you for your question, Hilda. Michael, so this first public screening of your movie is truly international, you know, stretching from South Africa to Sweden, Poland, Toronto, all over the globe. What do you hope that the audience tonight takes home with them from what you're doing with contemporary artists with Jewish identities in Poland today?
I hope people are kind of as amazed as I was about the quality of the Jewish Polish contemporary investigation that's happening in Poland. I think there's a lot of people don't think of Poland as a place where such a complex contemporary Jewish investigation is happening because of people, when they think about Jewishness in Poland, they think it ended. But in fact, it's not only ended, it's complex. And I actually, you know, and for me, I ended up moving here because I actually feel that because of the uniqueness of Poland, it's actually one of the most interesting contemporary Jewish spaces in the world in terms of having conversations and investigating the contemporary global Jewish reality, partly because there's just so many questions that are being asked and that need to be asked in Poland. So yeah, for me, it's a hugely inspiring place for me as a Jew because of the Jews, and that's and so, you know, that's a lot that I'm hoping for with a film series, but certainly, you know, with presenting artists as unique, as complex, as good as Betty, I'm hoping that people are surprised and to want to explore more about what's happening in contemporary Jewish Poland and understand more.
Thank you so much. I mean, truly what I'm taking with me from this screening and from the conversation is this life force that you're bringing, Betty, the sensuality, the joy, and how that truly seems to be healing. For me, as a descendant of Polish Jews, now living in Sweden, and also in such a deeply complex, nuanced, investigating, curious space as contemporary Jewish Poland is today. So it was truly an honor to talk to both of you. Beautiful movie. I hope it gets wings and spread far. Enjoy the conversation with your class, Betty. Thank you, Michael. And thank you to everyone who joined us from whichever time zone.
And thank you to Nicole, and thank you to Nicole in Toronto, who's working with us and helping us technically make this such a great event.
And Magda and Lev. Thank you so much. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for joining the conversation.
Thank you very much.